It's not just a bag. It's Prada. Welcome to Somewhere's Prada, where the drama is always designer and the stories are forever iconic. Let's get into today's video. Alright, so picture this. Your billionaire grandmother owns a shipping empire, but instead of inheriting the yachts and the boardrooms, you move into one of her abandoned ports. That's exactly what Scott Huntington II did. This place used to belong to the Ellsworth family, and you know, before Marilyn Huntington basically fired an entire corporation and left it to rot. Yes, she did that. Now, it's part junkyard, part hideout, and I guess whatever vibe Scott wants it to be. But honestly, it's kind of perfect, like a little grim, a little luxury, and a whole lot of family drama behind the scenes that went on with the Ellsworth Shipping company. But in today's video, we're going to be building that shipping port. A piece of history, you know, the ghost of wealth, and maybe a quiet little rebellion that's going to come to play with this. So I'm super excited, you guys. We're gonna talk, we're gonna watch me build, we're gonna get creative. This was something that I had planned for a minute now, and I created a bunch of CC to bring this to life, and I'm super excited. Let's get into it. Okay, so before I start placing a single container, let's talk about why this place even exists. The Ellsworth were basically like San Myshuno's version of shipping royalty. So think money, power, scandal, maybe a few missing tax records. You know, the corruption. But Marilyn Ellsworth-Huntington's father, Thomas, built this empire port back in the day, and he was kind of like the guy that can get anything shipped anywhere. Like, he wasn't to play with until he died, and his second wife, aka Marilyn's evil stepmother, took over. Now, long story short, she ran the company like a villain in a telenovela, honey. Okay, it was corruption, lawsuits, maybe a few mysterious disappearances. You know, you get the vibe of who this woman is. So when the lady finally kicked the bucket, Marilyn inherited it all. She was the only child. Of course, she was sent away to boarding school, but she was the only child. And instead of fixing it, she just said absolutely not. She fired everyone, locked the gates, and just let the empire rot. She wanted nothing to do with it. Fast forward to today, her grandson, Scott Huntington II, finds out about it, and he's like, wait, this is kind of cool. I might make this like my little hideaway cave from it all. And that was just like a brief little backstory. We are going to get into Marilyn's book Beyond the Gilded Cage and discuss in a little bit more detail about her childhood. And if you want to read it, you can. It's on Patreon. It's been posted, well, I think I posted it a year ago. I don't know, it's been a minute, but it's in the Acker Chronicles, because you know she did marry an Acker, well, a descendant of an Acker. So that's how she kind of ties into the family, and then we'll get into the book soon. Alright, so let's talk about the build for a second. This is actually my second time using Tool. You guys, I do not use Tool when I build, and this is my second time. I think it was a year ago. Oh, no, I think it was last year in November, the last time I used Tool, just once, like just one time. But it's wild because I've been sleeping on how good this is. Like, I created this deco robots to place in the world, and of course other trash and things like that to just make the surroundings feel more realistic. I hate when I do a certain build like this and the outside looks nice. Like, no, we have to dress it up. Like, when you're a storyteller, some like me, all these little details matter. So using tools to do that was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. I made this whole area look trashy. But yeah, I just really want to dress up this scenery and tell the story visually this time. But yeah, I really wanted to dress up the scene this time. So before I even started building the actual port, I spent forever setting, well, not really forever because I did this in 2 days. 2 days, you guys. But as you can see, I wanted to do the outside first. I would suggest anybody who's building a certain lot like this, dress up the outside. It's going to help you organize and style up a lot when you go to build one, you know, because the scenery helps. And I added more trash on the roads. I, you know, stacked extra containers that I had made, like just really made it feel like a forgotten community that the city stopped caring about, because that's actually what the spice market is going to be for me in my forever save file. Am I just mentioning that for the first time? Video coming soon. I'm starting my first forever save file. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. This is the first build that I think decorated from scratch, so I'm excited to do that. But yeah, like using tool honestly made it feel like set design more than building, and I love that. It just made it more fun. Like I'm building a story, not just a structure. So every piece of rust, every like pile of junk, especially all the CC that I created, which I'm super proud of, by the way. And you could download on my Patreon, and of course if you get this build, it's all going to be included. But yeah, it's all a part of how this neighborhood feels like overlooked but still alive. So of course you guys know I get inspired by cinema, from names to decor items to builds, you name it. I'm super inspired by like sci-fi movies and everything. And the inspiration behind this build, Tron Legacy, the movie. I think you guys know a lot about Tron lately because they just had the third movie from the trilogy, I think, came out, Tron Ares, recently. But Tron Legacy was the inspiration behind this build because I just love that movie. And when I saw the new Tron Ares trailer drop, I said, oh yeah, okay, universe, you're talking to me, it's time. So the home from Tron Legacy, where the guy's son lived, like that sleek but lonely futuristic industrial vibe, like that's what I wanted here, that mix of like neon, futurism, and decay. Plus, you know, you might notice a few surveillance robots wandering around the streets. I'm so happy I created them. That's not just for decoration. I mean, it's a decor item, but it's all a part of my world's lore. They're owned by OMEN, this massive robotics company run by another wealthy family that I have not introduced yet. You guys know about the Vaymars from the Hacked video, but this is all in the same universe. It's coming very, very soon. But like, think private AI, corporate secrets, maybe a little dystopia type of vibes. Yeah, I cannot wait to introduce this family because you guys are not ready. You're not ready at all. So yeah, we're slowly expanding the universe, you guys. And the Ackers, the Huntingtons, the Vaymars, like it's so many, the O'Haras. And now with OMEN crowd, you know, everybody's going to be connected, so I cannot wait to share all of those things with you. And while I was setting all that up, I realized I really wanted to do like a let's play with Scott Huntington. So yeah, like we're gonna do like a little mini series following his life here and figuring himself out outside of the family's name. Like he's a young, rebellious type of guy, and honestly the perfect character to explore that new money meets real world contrast. But before I start scripting that, let's just jump back into the build because this was a lot of fun and like hitting stories in between. And yeah, creating like a container ship home, come on, like it doesn't get no much funner than this, right? So this was the starting point for, I would say, the future let's play that's gonna come, because I wanted this like little quiet patch of waterfront with a few trash bags by the dock, you know, just giving a whole lot of nothing. But like in my head I can already see it, like the cranes, the containers, like the whole like grit of it all, like everything that used to make this place feel alive but also forgotten. That was the whole mission. I do go back and I changed the sign to like a solid black because I think it was just kind of messing with like I didn't like the way it looked, so I do change that. And Ah, this build is so much fun. Like I wanted to feel like it was a place like the city left behind, like somewhere people drive past every day and just don't look twice, you know. But if you stop long enough, there's history and you know everything's hiding in plain sight. This is kind of like the same neighborhood, not kind of. It is the same neighborhood, the Spice Market of where God, what is his name? The guy from the hacked video that I posted, like this is all in the same area, so you know, who knows, Scott might be neighbors with him. But that's what I love about like world building and storytelling. Like you can tell a whole story without saying a word. Like if I don't tell you what this lot is, you can just see, like you can just get a feel. And that is the type of builds that I want to do moving forward. Like I want the ambiance to explain itself without me having to. So when I do the Let's Play, I don't have to explain too much. Also, which is why I kind of don't know if I, like, I'm not really a Let's Play girly. I'm not. Like, I just don't get the whole, like, oh, let's go have her shower now. Oh, let's go have him cook the food. Like, I don't want to narrate what you can see. Like, obviously, you see that I'm going to, you know. So I'm trying to juggle and figure out how I'm going to make a Let's Play more me, but yet more entertaining for you guys. But anyway, back to the build. This was like where I started like layering the containers. Like I wanted to really set the design up really nice. So I wanted to play with color and texture and just have that perfect balance between like a bandit port and someone actually living here. But you can see like bits of the personality peek through as well. Like the signs, the abandoned broken billboard at the top, you know. Like I love it. And then when we get to the inside with decorating, you're gonna see like, oh yeah, someone young here, probably most likely rich. But maybe he's grounded himself into something real. It's not perfect, but it's gonna be his. A keynote that I do want to add when creating this build, I did find a lot of inspiration in the wearables pack and also the journey to Batu. And listen, I get it, a lot of you are just not like really into the whole Batu pack, but if you are a builder and a storyteller, I'm telling you, it's a gold mine, especially for like industrial type of looks. Like I use a lot of CC from those packs in this build. A lot from Journey to Batu. Listen, it's a select pack, just like this build. It's a select build. It's for the girls who get it, you know. And if you don't, that's okay. I'm all about converting you to the right side because this build, you know, and that pack is not that bad, okay? I get it's not a part of your aesthetic, and honestly, would you say this is a part of my aesthetic that you're used to? It's out of the ordinary. You probably would not have thought that, but I love this type of stuff. You've just seen a lot of the rich old money glamour, but honey, it's an opposite. Just like there's super rich, there's gonna be super poor. And I wanted that to showcase more in the future Let's Plays that I do, and also in my Forever Save file. Like I wanted to, like I want my save file, my Forever Save file, to be like me walking on set and I can just shoot and direct and have a story and shoot photos from any angle, from anywhere. And that's important for me. So yeah, you have to step outside of your boundaries, people, and buy the packs that you normally wouldn't buy, and use the CC, use a lot of the debugs. Like this ship that I use for the background, this is a debug item. I would have never known that this was in the game. Like how freaking cool is this, right? Yeah, it's in debug, and I think it came with the Love Struck pack, I believe, whatever that is, I don't know. But yeah, so don't sleep on Batu, because they're gonna have some CC decor that you're gonna be like, wait, that snaps. So before we dive deeper into the interior and we're still on the exterior of the build, we can talk about the custom CC for a bit. Like I made specifically for this build, okay? Like it was so fun creating a lot of these from scratch. Like a total concept in my head, and I made it, and I was like, yes, because I really wanted part 2 to feel like its own living, breathing world. And you know how sometimes you're building and you're like, I just need this one specific thing to just like, but it doesn't exist, so what am I gonna do? Yeah, that was me about, you know, multiple times doing this project or coming up with a concept for it. So I ended up with a bunch of new CC, from the Ellsworth shipping containers to the port 2 sign that was really fun to make, and even down to like the tiny details like the weather. It's going to be a weather like high voltage sign, and plugs and stuff like that, like the broken McDonald's sign in front. Like I wanted to feel like corporations come here to die. Like I just wanted to go through decades of history. Like McDonald's is not a thing in my world. They're dead. Get them out of here. It's a new fast food restaurant in town. I don't know. Maybe that's a good idea too. Okay. See how it cooks up? Like this build is already expanding to other thoughts of what I want to do. So I love that about like creating certain builds. And when I did the surveillance robots that's owned by OmniTech, you know, the robotics company, you know, that's me teasing a little bit of the lore from other families in the game, just so you can get a vibe and a feel. Like these are like tired old models that was once maybe patrolled in luxury neighborhoods, but now they're just left behind because, you know, there's always a better version. There's always an upgraded version. So these surveillance robots are, you know, monitoring, you know, crime or whatever, maybe spying on people. Clink, clink, clink. But yeah, there's gonna be one that's gonna be like sitting outside of the warehouse. Basically, he's powered off and he just doesn't work, you know. So it's just honestly like my favorite tiny little details in this build. So I had so much fun experimenting with the environment CC. So stuff like the old crane and the rusted tires, the radiation signs. I even wanted to add like a broken bus, because I wanted this place to also feel like a place where people come dump things. You know, they're dumping old trash, broken things, you know, shipping yard debris. I wanted every object to feel like it belonged in a forgotten part of the town. Like you wouldn't see this in Marilyn's front yard or even nowhere near her yard. And honestly, like this is what I love about custom content. Like it just lets me build stories that don't exist in The Sims by default. So everything here just helps tell who Scott is and the independence and the, you know, quite creative chaos he's living in. And plus, you know, it's all a part of the lore. You know, we got to have that fight between the rich and also the fight between the rich and the poor. Girl, this, I never really wanted to play my Sims games that reflect like the real world, but honey, that is the time that we are moving in, okay? It's here. And now it's weird that it's also part of my gameplay, but we're not as bad as the real world, okay? In my game, we're gonna be good. But now I'm here doing the backyard. I don't know if you guys seen the Tron Legacy movie and the little clip that I showed, but there is a scene where he talks to the guy outside and he's gonna have the view of the bridge and the waterfront. I love that whole vibe. Like, I love it. Like, it's $1 million view, but it's on the poor side of town. Horrible, right? But who wouldn't want to live here? Like, it's really creative, in my opinion, you know. Decaying industrial decay meets luxury and inside. Gold mine. Okay, so as we decorate the back of the building, let's just read some inserts from Marilyn's book, and so you can get an idea of who she was, the Ellsworth family, and then we're going to come back and discuss as well.
Marilyn Ellsworth-Huntington's childhood was a blend of magic and tragedy, shaping her into the resilient woman she is today. Born into the illustrious Ellsworth family, her early years were filled with enchantment. Her family's estate, Ellsworth Manor, was a sprawling, ivy-covered mansion with secret gardens, hidden rooms, and a vast library where young Marilyn would lose herself in tales of adventure and romance. Her days were filled with horseback riding, piano lessons, and grand parties where she was the center of attention, a beloved only child in a world of privilege. However, behind the grandeur, Marilyn's life was tinged with sorrow. Her mother, Lydia Ellsworth, was a fragile beauty whose health declined steadily. Lydia's mysterious illness cast a shadow over Marilyn's idyllic childhood. Despite the best doctors and treatments, Lydia's condition worsened, leaving Marilyn to cope with the gradual loss of her mother. Her father, Thomas Ellsworth, a powerful and often distant figure, became even more engrossed in his business endeavors, leaving Marilyn to navigate her sorrow alone. As a teenager, Marilyn's life took a further tragic turn. At 15, she lost her mother, a devastating blow that marked the end of her childhood innocence. The once lively manor became a place of mourning, and Marilyn, forced to grow up quickly, took on the role of managing the household in her mother's absence. She learned to mask her grief with grace, developing a steely exterior and a fierce determination to survive. In the midst of her grief, her father remarried a woman named Cassandra, a woman with a cold and calculating demeanor. Cassandra was beautiful and charming in public, but behind closed doors, whispering, she was manipulative and cruel. She resented Marilyn's presence and saw her as a threat to her newfound position within the Ellsworth family. Cassandra's jealousy led to a campaign of subtle torment, undermining Marilyn's confidence and making her feel like an outsider in her own home. Cassandra's cruelty ranged from petty acts of sabotage to more severe manipulations. She would lock Marilyn out of the house during social events, spread malicious rumors about her among their social circle, and even tried to convince Thomas to send Marilyn away to a boarding school. Despite Cassandra's efforts, Marilyn's spirit remained unbroken. She found solace in her friendships and the love of her life, Andrew Huntington II. They met at a debutante ball, and their connection was immediate and profound. Andrew's warmth and understanding provided the emotional support Marilyn desperately needed. Their courtship was a whirlwind of romance and mutual respect, culminating in a marriage that united two powerful families. Marilyn's teenage years were a time of transformation, where she honed her resilience and cultivated the toughness that would later define her. Despite Cassandra's cruelty, Marilyn excelled in her studies, particularly in economics and business, driven by a desire to prove herself to her father and overcome her stepmother's schemes. Her resilience and strength, forged in the fires of personal tragedy and hardship, became the foundation of her success in the world of business and beyond.
And if you would like to read the rest of Marilyn's story, it is, like I said, on my Patreon in the Acker Chronicles section in the collections. And yeah, read up and catch up before we really deep dive into her lore when her episode comes around on the Acker series on YouTube. But as you can see how Marilyn's childhood scoped her to be this very hard exterior person, even though she's like a big softie on the inside. She is the richest woman in my game. She can't be soft with these people, or they're going to try to take advantage of her like her stepmother did. And so those experiences shaped who Marilyn is today. And that is why when she inherited this, when the stepmother passed away and died, she just no longer wanted to have ties associated with it. So she sold the she didn't sell the company. She just like fired everyone and just didn't care to expand more with the Ellsworth Shipping, even though that is her father's legacy. She just had a negative attachment to it. So that's why I'm low-key kind of happy that Scott is stepping in, and he is, you know, I guess trying to figure out his life in the midst of also being in a very high pressured family. because he is one of the descendants of the Acker family. So you have that side, and then you have his father's side, well, his grandfather's side, and you just have all of that pressure from both sides to step up and be this leader of the family, because it is possible that he might inherit all of the riches and become, you know, one of the richest men in my game. And that's a lot of pressure. That's if Marilyn decides that she wants to pass down her riches, because that's still undecided, because Marilyn thinking about keeping or just not giving her money away to her daughter, her son. And he is the grandson. He is one of her favorites. So it is a strong possibility that he might inherit that. But yeah, so it's kind of nice that he's coming back to this port to reclaim himself and discover who he is, because this is a place that just really affected Marilyn as a whole, and she kind of didn't want any ties with it, even though this is her father's legacy. This is her true like story and her history with her family. But she didn't want anything to do with it, so she fired everyone and just let the company die. And so it ended up turning into this like very junkyard area in town. And so it's gonna make for a very fun let's play when Marilyn finds out that Scott is living here. It's gonna be really fun, and I cannot wait to start that let's play. All right, so now that we talked about who's gonna actually live here, because this build isn't just a static, like it's gonna be a start of a whole new story. And Scott Huntington II is the grandson of Marilyn, of course, we know that now. And he is a proud descendant of the Acker family as well. So his family tree runs deep into legacy and the industry as a whole, like from oil to publishing, like all of that, you name it. So Scott is the one who said, yeah, I'm going to move into a shipping container by the docks instead. Okay, I'm not going to be living this super, super glamorous life. At least personally, this is going to be my little escape, my little getaway, in a sense. You know, he's not a black sheep of a family, but he just want to move a little differently. So, you know, he's fascinated by, you know, machinery, architecture, and robotics, which is going to play into his let's play as well that I have in mind. And, you know, which is why the whole area is going to be like a blend of mechanics, and, you know, he is living in a garage, and, you know, a little modern studio in the inside. Look at that car. You cannot tell me somebody poor lived there. Look what he's driving. I love this CC car lift that I created, by the way. It's one of my favorite things that I created that just I just love it. I love it. And if you got multiple cars and you just understand, you get it. The girls who get it, get it. But I've been wanting to do a mini let's play with the younger versions of the Ackers, which is why I have been telling the Acker lore of the elders and the generations before we really deep dive into it. So I need to finish that up because I need to get current with the timeline of the Ackers today. And, you know, he's young, he's sharp, he's independent. He just graduated high school, you guys. He's going to take a year off from college because he wants to focus on interning at OMEN. Yes. So, you know, like fixing up cars and dealing with the chaos of the docks and crossing paths with people who don't really, you know, care who his mother or his grandmother is, you know, maybe even uncovering a few secrets about OMEN while he's interning there, you know. So I think that's going to be a really, really fun let's play that's going to be coming out. And, you know, he's probably going to discover new friends in different places that can help him further his career, life, or discover some things that maybe he didn't know about his family and others. So that's going to be a really, really fun let's play. But let's get back into the interior now of the build. Finally, it took so long. So I think that I established that this is a very overlooked area in the community. And so I kind of wanted the inside build to just look a little bit more like, wait a minute, where's the money coming from? And I did love that I added this little ladder leading up to the roof, so you can chill, sightsee, no telling what he sees on those telescopes. But I definitely wanted to feel like, oh no, it's a guy living here, but also it's a techie person. You know, he's a techie guy. He's into the tech. And so I wanted to incorporate a lot of that. But he's also super, super smart. So I wanted books to be placed everywhere. And just, you know, keeping the area still looking a little bit horrendous. But I wanted the lower level to be the heart of the build, so that's why I kind of like the big open back. I kind of envision it being like a garage door in the back, but it's just up, you know. And so it's part garage, part living space. It's messy, but it's intentional. You've got his cars parked under the lift. You got tools everywhere. A lovely, beautiful couch. That's probably worth like $5,000. You know, you have the telescopes on the lower level, and then you have them on the top as well. You know, you can tell he spent hours down here working, probably thinking, probably avoiding his family's group chat. You know, it's such a vibe. And I added that little patio setup outside because I like the idea that he built himself this makeshift hangout spot. Just a couple of chairs, a crate, a table, you know, got beer, nothing too fancy, but it fits, you know. It's that contrast of wealth and wear that makes this place feel like it's a real spot outside of all the glamour and the glitz and things. But upstairs is where the story really shifts. It's more personal. You know, you have the neon posters, you have the mood lighting. The kitchen, of course, is tucked behind, you know, these recycled metal walls. Like, every piece has a purpose, but also a little bit of rebellion, you know. The no parking signs, the road warnings, even the way the lights like bounces off the metal, and as you can see in the kitchen, I didn't want too much bright lights. I wanted it to be a little dim, because keep in mind, this is a container turned into a home, so it's only so much we can do. But you know, it's giving, you know, I'm rich, but I don't need to prove it. And a lot of members in his family, they're very show off. You know, even though they're owed money, they definitely let it be known that we come from old money, okay? This is not new money, this is old. And he just wants to take a little step back. But the whole design process, of course, was a balance between world building and realism. So how would a billionaire's grandson actually live if he wanted to disappear for a while? And this is what I came up with. So, and this is his version of quiet luxury. It's a whole new take, just with, you know, some oil stains, some tech scraps, and a couple of robots patrolling outside. You know, I'm surprised he didn't get caught yet, or maybe he has, who knows. A lot is gonna be exposed with this Let's Play, let's just say. And that's why I love this build too. Like, it's so layered. Like, the family itself, the build itself, the structure, like, it's made from containers that his grandfather, well, no, his great-grandfather, his great-grandfather, you know, started. Like, this is his legacy, and I love that he's turning it around. Maybe he might wants to open up the shipping port, or maybe what I'm thinking is that he can work with some very bad people, and he's able to work with them to get things in the city that is hard to get it from anywhere else. So just imagine people thinking this is an abandoned port, but actually it's not abandoned. We're just doing some low-key deals behind the scenes. You know, I think we're on to something. I think I'm revealing too much at this point. I'm telling too much of the storyline. Let me stop. But it kind of gives you an idea of how this family moves in this society and how they're going to survive no matter what. And that's why a lot of the new families and a lot of the new rich and the new money cannot stand the Ackers, okay? Because the Ackers has legacy in the dirt, okay? And yeah, so they're trying to find other ways to level the playing field. Okay, so I'm gonna cut this video down a little bit because I recorded hours and hours of me building this. It'll be too much. So we're going to pretty much leave this build off right here. Well, we're gonna finish it off, of course. But like, I'm honestly proud of how port 2 turned out. As you can see, it's really great. I don't think I showed you guys this like garage in the front. Yeah, cute. We can hide something in there. The storytelling is endless on this lot, okay? And what I love most about it is that it's not just a build. This is such a character space. Like, you guys have to build for the character. You have to learn how to build for the character. Maybe I might do a video about that. I don't know. You know, we'll see. But here's the bathroom that's downstairs. I wanted that very... It's something about blue lights in sci-fi. When you think of like a sci-fi film, you're gonna see blue, you're gonna see red. I don't know why those colors just stand out to me, and that's why I wanted a strong blue light in the bathroom to give that very sci-fi vibe. Because my game, it is a little bit in the future. Not too far in the future, but we are advancing the tech in this game, okay? Obviously, we have surveillance robots and stuff, so I wanted these builds to feel like it's not on the modern timeline of what we're on, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, absolutely love it. Of course, you have freaking 2 expensive sports cars in your living room. I mean, hello, it doesn't get any better than that. But yeah, this Ellsworth Shipping Yard port, whatever, it turned out everything. Like, it's everything that I would have wanted in the build. I love that it just, and even when you decorate outside of what's on the lot, it just makes the build look even bigger. Like, this is a 30 by 30 lot, but because we decorated the outside the borders of the lot, it just makes the look like, it just makes the build even appear bigger than what it is. Correct? Or am I tripping? I don't know, it just looked like this is on a 64 by 64 lot. Like, amazing. I absolutely love it. But I think I want to get into the Let's Play like so freaking soon. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. But thank you guys for watching if you made it this far. Okay, so I do want to do a little short contest for the people who are watching, and if you made it this far, I'm not going to like really announce much about it in the comments and things. It's like, if you made it to this point, then you know. So what I want you to do is, in order to enter into the contest, you have to hashtag robot or whatever under the video. Hashtag robot, or yeah, we can do robot. Yeah, because then I'll know you made it to the end. So if you hashtag robot, your name's going to be entered into a contest to actually win and be the first ones to add the 2 robot decor that I made in this build. The ones that are not a part of the build if you download this. The ones you see walking on the street. Friday, depending on if anybody entered the contest, then yeah, I'll pick a name. I'm not gonna say too much about it, but like, I'm not gonna say too much about it in the comments or anything. I'm not gonna remind anyone. But Friday comes, if anybody left a hashtag robots, and yeah, your name's gonna go on Spin the Wheel. We're gonna spin it, and if you win, you're gonna be the first ones to ever have the robot decor items, because they're coming out in a future build. So yes. But anyway, leave a comment, leave a like, and into the next build or the next Let's Play. All right, thank you guys. Bye.